Things are beginning to get shady for the Philadelphia Eagles at running back. Jay Ajayi tore ACL. He's out for the season. And now it's like, what do you got in the backfield? Philly 500 is here. I am Adrian Fedke. It's the bitter Dingbats. We're going to look at running backs today. Who are the Eagles going to trade for? And obviously, there's a report right now that they might be talking to Buffalo.
Buffalo. I love it. I love Shady McCoy. Now, I was a big Le'Veon Bell guy, right? But after having, we got to turn this down. But after thinking about it and hearing about Shady McCoy, I think this is not a bad idea, actually, because he's only $4 million under the cap, and he would actually give you flexibility to go out and maybe fix even more positions than just the running back's position. So I think this would be a great move. I would be all for it if they could do it.
All right. Now, here's the thing right now. Okay, so the report is by a sports director for a small station in Buffalo. The guy's only got 6,000 followers on Twitter, and nobody else is reporting anything. So here's his report. So obviously this is the news that's going around right now. So Josh Reed, he says, the Eagles have reached out to the Bills about a possible trade for LeSean McCoy per source. Philly just lost running back Jay Ajayi for the season due to a torn ACL. McCoy spent the first 6 seasons of his career with the Eagles and is the franchise all-time leading rusher. So Eagles have reached out to the Bills about a possible trade. Reached out. That could mean simply, hey, gave him a call. What do you want for LeSean? Yada, yada. And they're just beginning negotiations. That's kind of what that tweet says.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to know. They could say, hey, would you be interested in trading Shady? And they can say, no. We have no idea. I got to see the sources from more people. But I do think from a practical standpoint, this would make a lot of sense for the Eagles because they need help right away. They're going to need help right away after this Thursday game, in my opinion. And Shady could come in and has a pretty good idea of what they're doing on offense, and he could fit right in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, 97.5 The Fanatic, Anthony Gargano, he reported that the Bills are looking for a second and a third. That doesn't sound right at all. That is definitely incorrect information. I mean, a second and a third, that could be a starting point, again, in negotiations. But a second and a third, that's way too rich for a 30-year-old running back making the money that he's making, considering all you had to give up for Jay Ajayi was a fourth-round pick. So, like, you look at some of the trades last year, even like Kelvin Benjamin, it was a third and a seventh. So whatever the Eagles are going to give up for a potential LeSean McCoy trade, you're not going to be giving up a second and a third. That's just not going to happen. That's way too much.
No, I think that if that's anything, that's just a starting point negotiation. I don't think that's it at all. I think between a fourth and a fifth round pick would make sense for Shady McCoy. I think that would be fair value. And if we look at what the Eagles gave up for Jay Ajayi, it makes a lot of sense. You're only going to have Shady probably another rest of the year or maybe 2 years at most, and you're probably going to draft a running back maybe with one of those second round picks you have. But I think that would be too much. I wouldn't give up a second or a third for him, or both.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you do a third, maybe, but like I'm thinking like fourth or something,
Yeah,
if you may have to give up a round more than you want because of the situation, and I'm sure they're going to know like we're kind of desperate right now for running back, so they're going to take advantage of us for that. So I don't know. If it's like a third or fourth, I would do it, but a second and a third, that's just like ridiculous. So contract situation for LeSean McCoy off overthecap.com. So the rest of the year, this year, I think it's like something like $4 million for the cap. So he'd obviously be able to get brought in because of what they did with Fletcher Cox and his contract. And then he's got one more year on his deal, $9.05 million cap hit for next year. So if you bring him in, you have him in for this year, you have him in for next year, then you get him out. I would be for that. I mean, anything would upgrade this current situation right now, the stable running backs that the Eagles have. So if they're able to bring him in, I'd bring him in, but for the right price, obviously.
agreed. Yeah, I think that you're exactly right. I agree with you 100%. Has to be the right price, but he would vastly help this offense, and he would help that running back core. So I'm all for the move. The only thing that, as long as there's no like suspension coming or something from the
Yeah.
off the field stuff, they got to check all that out. Like we can't have that come back and bite us. But if that's all good to go, then I say pull the trigger.
Well, that would actually like decrease his trade value, if anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so let's get into a name that Derek Gunn speculated about yesterday, because we've talked about Le'Veon Bell a lot, so we'll get into him a little bit later. So let's get into David Johnson. And on the surface, it seems like, well, why the hell would the Cardinals trade David Johnson? They just paid him. He's 26 years old. They have a young quarterback. It's a young team. Why would they get rid of him? Well, the reports and the rumblings that I've heard from Arizona is that they're trying to it's a fire sale, and it's a fire sale for a lot of people. So I don't know what the logic behind that is, other than you just want to restock draft picks and build around Josh Rosen, I guess, and that's that. But I'm hearing even Hassan Reddick's name being mentioned. This is getting nuts if all this is true. So if David Johnson is a potential guy you can bring back, I mean it would work, because I looked at the salary cap situation. You'd have him for this year, you had him for next year, and then the year after, and then you can get out of the deal, because that's when Carson's deal gets ending. So
Right.
So you can get out of the David Johnson deal just in time, and then you extend Carson Wentz, and everything is perfect. That's the thing that I'm worried about. If you brought in a Le'Veon Bell, you would have to worry about that situation if they would extend him, it running into Carson's deal, his potential extension that's going to be coming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's always ways to manipulate the cap. We saw how they freed up money yesterday.
How he's always making moves.
So I don't worry about those things too much. But I got to tell you, it's I've gone back and forth on this David Johnson thing over the last course of the last night. But it's okay, maybe the Arizona Cardinals would trade him. Then I think, why would you trade a 26-year-old running back you just signed when you have a rookie quarterback? At least you might have a fire sale, but why would you get rid of him? Don't you want to build around some sort of foundation? I mean, what I would like to know is what's Hassan Reddick's cap hit? Because
well, he's on a rookie contract.
Well, then why not get McCoy and trade for Reddick?
Reddick's asking price, I'm sure, would be a lot.
I would pay it.
It's I think what's happening is they're just putting players out there to see what they could get. I think it seems like they're trying to load up on as much draft capital as humanly possible.
I don't know what to make of the David Johnson. I've gone back and forth, maybe they would trade him, maybe they will, and then I think to myself, why? You're going to let Rosen not have the security of a running back like David Johnson? So I don't know. I mean, obviously, talent-wise, in terms of talent and fit, I would love David Johnson. I would, of course. And I do see what you're saying about the cap. I mean, I'm all for it, but it's just, I guess it's just hard for me to believe they would be that much of a fire sale.
Here's why they would do it. Because he's 26 years old and the Cardinals aren't going anywhere. So you're wasting his career away, basically.
Well, Dana, I would do it. I would give a second-round pick for him. At his age, he's worth it. I would love it.
It might be more than a second, though. It might be a second and a fifth or something.
Well, I'd do it.
Yeah, would. Yeah. I mean, there's obviously an injury history there with David Johnson, but he brings what you want. I mean, the difference between he and Le'Veon Bell, though, Bell obviously just the creative route runner. You put him in the slot, you put him wherever. David Johnson can catch the ball out of the backfield, but he's taking flats. He's taking the swing routes. He's not doing what Le'Veon Bell is doing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to believe when I really on a gut level that they would trade him, but of course I would jump all of it.
It doesn't seem like why any person would say, well, why would they trade him?
I mean, if I'm a GM of a team like the Cardinals, I'm going to clean house, but I'm going maybe Larry Fitzgerald, I'm going to move those kind of guys. But my core guys like Rosen and Johnson and Redditt, I'm not going to get rid of them. I'm going to build around them. So it's just hard for me to believe. But maybe they think it'll take them 4 or 5 years, and he'll be 30. If that's what the case is, then do it. But
I mean, when I first read the tweet of Derek Gunn and the speculation, I was just like, I said what you said. I'm like, well, they wouldn't do that. Stop.
Yeah.
And then the report came out later that the Fletcher Cox restructured his contract and they moved some money around. And then the money was like, you look at what the money was, and I'm like, oh my God, if you look at David Johnson, the numbers work out perfectly.
I have no doubt that like, see, when Schefter and Chris Mortensen said, oh, they're just getting money to re-sign their own guys. I don't buy that one bit. That is too much money they moved. They are trying to do something specific. They have a plan. I definitely believe it's for a move coming. I no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Le'Veon Bell. Let's talk about him. So, all right, I'll put it in. I'll ask this question: LaShawn McCoy, Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson. Order those players. Who would you rather have most?
Not accounting for all the numbers and stuff. Just
like let's take into account that you'd probably have to trade more for David Johnson and stuff.
Le'Veon Bell. It's not even close. I would want Le'Veon Bell because I think he's one of those special dynamic players that he's the kind of guy that doesn't come around often, in my opinion. If you have a chance to get him, you have to do it, especially when you're the defending Super Bowl champions. I think Le'Veon Bell, if I could choose one guy, but there are issues I do have with getting him,
What are those issues?
Well, my big issue is this, and I've been thinking about this last night and actually did a video on this that will come out later. But my thing with Bell is that he can't be traded until he signs his tender, which is going to be either week 7 or week 8, meaning we have to wait a few more games. Then we trade him, and he takes him a few games to get going, to get adjusted to the offense. So we're talking 4 to 6 games before he can make an impact for us. The season could be over at that point. I don't know that we can wait that long. I mean, in terms of salary cap, and I'll let Howie deal with that. But for that reason, I think I would probably look elsewhere because we need somebody to help us now.
All right. How about I word it like this? I'll say it like this. Right now, the Eagles are most likely not going to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So at this point, you're playing for the playoffs. You want to get your team ready for the playoffs. You want them to play best heading into the playoffs. So if you bring Le'Veon Bell in here, yes, it's going to take time. It's not going to be until midseason. He's going to have to learn the playbook. He's going to have to gel with the offensive line. That's going to take time. It might take until, say, week 14, week 15, week 16, whatever the case might be with Le'Veon Bell. But once it's humming, it's going to be humming. And they're going to be very, very dangerous heading into the postseason. So even if they're like, say, 10-6 heading into a playoff game, if you have Le'Veon Bell and everything at your disposal, you're going to be dangerous.
Oh, yeah. There's no question about that. I can't argue with that. That is totally true. My fear is that the struggles continue. The injuries with Corey Clement and stuff continue the next 5-6 weeks. And we're not in a position to make the playoffs because we're not getting together.
Luckily, they're in the NFC East.
That's true. That's true.
Like you can go 9-7 and win this division.
Look. If let's say you go 10-6 and you get to the playoffs and you have Le'Veon Bell, and let's say you said week 14, 15, he's getting it going, and then you go into the wild card week. Yeah, you're dangerous. You're scary. I have no doubt about it, and you could probably do some serious damage.
That's the way I'm looking at this situation.
And for that reason, I would love it. I would love Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, and he just fits everything to a T, man. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. It's the patience that he runs with, and the way the Eagles block. Things kind of take a little bit to materialize. So a patient runner like that, then hit the hole on the outside zone and the sweep plays, he'd be perfect here. And then the pass catching ability. You put him in the slot. You line him out wide. He's great in blitz pickup. He can do everything, and he's just a perfect fit for the offense.
Oh man, it's just fun to imagine what it would be like. And I got to tell you, I do think the Eagles. I do believe the reports that they are interested in him. It just makes a lot of sense.
I'm starting to believe. I believe it now because, like, I didn't believe it at first. And I'm like, why would you go after like a running back like that and then pay him with the Carson thing? But it goes back to Howie Roseman, man. It's like you can never say they don't have enough cap space. You just can't say that anymore with him. Like it's just an excuse.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're $100 million against the cap. Howie Roseman will make it work.
Yeah, he's done it how many times? I mean, just think about what Chip Kelly left us with. We had nothing. We had nothing, and it was like boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, we have this space.
Yeah.
I mean, Howie knows how to manipulate it and what to do. There are always ways. So if they really want it, they'll get them. But to me, Le'Veon Bell would be my number one choice if I could just say, give me the one player. Which one player? Boom, Le'Veon Bell, without question. But I think McCoy is probably makes the most sense.
He's probably the most
likely.
He's probably most likely. There you go.
Yeah. And what I do like about getting McCoy, like I said, is you still have cap space. If you want to go get Devontae Parker, if you want to go get a defensive player, you still have options to do it. If you sign or trade for Bell, that's like he's like $9 million. He would be $9 million by the time he comes in. So you're only left with $2 million. You don't really have much to do anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. With you. And the thing, so we talked about who you would want most. Second, I'd probably say David Johnson. Obviously, now it would cost more for him. But the reason why I'm bringing this up again, if I'm the Eagles, I'm not only getting David Johnson, I'm also asking, hey, can you throw Fitz in there too?
Yeah, if you're kidding. Yeah, definitely. You still need another receiver, whether you get running back or not. I still think you need another receiver. Fitzgerald would be great. No doubt about it. I don't know what his cap number is or anything like that, but I would love it.
Yeah. All right. Let's kind of move on here. We know the big names at running back. Do you have anyone else that's on your mind that you would potentially bring in if these top names don't work out for you?
No, there's nobody else.
I haven't thought about it.
No, those are my three guys. I mean, I know that there's been a couple other guys mentioned. Coleman from Atlanta, Amir Abdullah, but none of them really excite me the way these other guys do. I think we need one of these guys that can carry the load. Unless the only thing I could say is if there's some way they could get LeGarrette Blount back cheap, if Detroit keeps it, I would love that too. But
yeah, I don't know if they're going to do that though now because they're 3 now.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to trade him. I've heard some of the names too, like Duke Johnson, Amir Abdullah, guys like that. I wouldn't want to trade for someone like that because there's still guys that are free agents that you can go after that actually aren't like that much different. So a guy like Sharkandrick West or Mike Gillislee, and Gillislee is a guy that the Patriots tried to replace with Blunt with, and that didn't really work out for them. The other name is you said Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman, I would potentially trade something for because I think there's more explosion there than the other guys. I think I like Tevin Coleman.
Yeah,
I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's very underrated in Atlanta. He's a free agent at the end of the year, and Atlanta is 1-4.
Yeah.
So if they would want to potentially unload him, and the Eagles are struggling to get somebody, that would be kind of like a last resort type of move.
I'm okay with that. I would be okay with that. Last resort, and we got to remember Howie has a tendency to get the guy we don't even think about, that we didn't even know was considered.
Yeah.
Jay, nobody saw that coming. So who knows what he could pull? You know what I mean?
Nobody saw Jay coming. Nobody saw Michael Bennett coming.
I got to tell you though, I keep thinking about a few years ago when they took Pumphrey. I wanted Tariq Cohen so bad.
I know you did.
And he would have been a perfect fit right now for this Eagles.
No, Pumphrey is.
I think that pick really hurts us right now. It does,
because
you know.
every running back was good in that draft, and then the Eagles took Donnell Pumphrey.
Yeah, that hurt us.
That pick is definitely hurting them right now because of the depth issue.
Yeah, it is. But I think the Eagles are going to make a move here. I don't know when, maybe close to deadline, but they freed up space to do something. So I would be very shocked if they end the season at $11 million under the cap.
Yeah,
I would be shocked.
yeah.
You know,
You don't move money around to do nothing. Like
no,
that.
not like that. No.
All right, I wanted to get into another discussion, and I made a video yesterday talking about how the Eagles should obviously they need to run the ball more, but the thing here is with Ajayi's injury now, who are you going to run the ball with? So I talked about Clement averaging 4.1 yards per carry, Josh Adams averaging 4.1 yards a carry, Wendell Smallwood averaging 6. So with this offensive line, I mean, if you start running the ball more, do you think they would be able to run the ball even with the running backs that they have?
I think they'll be able to run the ball, but what concerns me is the Corey Clement is injured. Darren Sproles is injured.
Yep.
Josh Adams has had, 1 or 2 carries per game, maybe. And it's been really Wendell Smallwood. How long can we trust that? But I think that, like, going into Thursday night's game, you have to still run the ball. You'll have to try. You still have to keep the defense honest because you're too predictable. It's too easy to defend the Eagles' offense right now. And that's why that even though you don't have a running back right now, or you have a few guys that are in and out of the lineup, you got to keep trying.
Yeah, I mean, it's the stable of running backs. It isn't great, but you're still going to average over 4 yards per carry because of the offense.
Right
now, here's the difference though. When you bring in a LaShawn McCoy or a David Johnson or a Le'Veon Bell, McCoy, he'd probably average say between 4.5 and 5 yards per carry behind this offensive line. With Le'Veon Bell or David Johnson, it's over 5. So with those guys, there's a 1 yard per carry difference between a Bell and say Clement and Josh Adams. It's basically the same mark that Ezekiel Elliott had. So the year before Zeke got there, or maybe it was this year after when he got hurt or something, there was a yard per carry difference between Zeke and the rest of the running backs in Dallas. So it's if you want to kind of compare and contrast, kind of look at it that way.
That's significant too. I mean, I think that it would be well worth it for sure. And the other thing that concerns me a lot now is that with Corey Clement in and out of the lineup being hurt and Wendell Smallwood having to get more reps, he can't pass block at all.
Yeah, it
scares the crap out of me. He cannot pass block. And what are you going to do? Just put in Clement every time you want to pass block? Everybody will know what you're doing at some point. So again, it's predictability. You got to keep defenses honest and unpredictable. I don't see in my head a way that the Eagles can go the rest of the season without acquiring another running back on some level.
Yeah, they're going to get somebody.
We're going to get somebody.
Don't know who it's going to be.
Right.
We'll see.
That's the fun part of it.
Yeah. Speculation. There you go. All right. So here's what we're going to do now. You want to look at the chat a little bit?
Let's talk to the peoples.
All right. Let's talk to the people. Let's see what the people want. I'll get to the chat eventually. I pull it up on my YouTube, and my internet's acting real slow.
My chat is frozen on your thing, so I can't.
Nice.
Read it. That's figures. I was looking.
I'm trying to get in here.
Yeah. Shady makes a lot of sense right now. Just makes a lot of sense.
All right. I open the chat, and the first thing I see is Eric Flowers, super cheap, but is he any good? He is not good.
He stinks.
He stinks.
Did they try him inside? Did they try to play him inside?
I don't think they did. Dylan Azar, Doug Martin for a 5th or 6th. I don't think I'd want Doug Martin.
No.
We got a donation from Dr. Onage, CBK, my man. $1.99 donated.
Hey, thank
You have a
you.
comment? You have anything you want to say? Shady has broken ribs. I say Bell or bust.
Shady had 80 yards last week, and I think Josh Allen had 80 yards passing, which tells you they're stacking the box on
Yeah.
Shady, and he's still running decent. So I think Shady can survive broken ribs.
Yeah. Caleb Miller. Okay, just figured he would be only $1 million to sign. Might be better swing lineman than say Amalo or with Johnson being hurt. Yeah, just stay away from Eric Flowers. Trust me. We should bring Blunt back. I mean, if you
I
can,
don't know. Are they going to trade?
I just don't think like they're just going to trade him. Like
Yeah.
It's so easy to just say, yeah, go after LeGarrette Blunt, but you need both sides need to make it work.
They won this week, right?
Yeah, they're 2-3. So
yeah, they're not giving up on the season. You got to look at those teams at 1-4, 1-5. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep looking at the Raiders and going, Amari Cooper, keep losing. Amari Cooper, keep losing.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Dr. Onage wants he wants David Johnson since we can keep him past 2018.
I would love it.
Kelly Green Wings. Eagles just asked Bills for LaShawn McCoy, and Bills want a second or a third. All right, like I kind of explained earlier in the show, that's a starting point. Like they're not getting a second and a third for a 30-year-old LaShawn McCoy. They're fucking nuts.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, agreed.
Running back won't matter if the secondary isn't fixed. I don't know. I saw changes within the secondary that I actually thought were positive changes Sunday. I thought Jim Schwartz brought the blitz more. They really only allowed 17 points.
Well, and
the defense played better.
And it goes back to that whole your best defense is a good offense. Like offense that has running backs that can run and control the clock and take time off the clock, control the ball, keep your defense off the field is going to result into less big plays and stuff on your defense. So it all helps each other.
Yep. It seems like some people like the Tevin Coleman route.
I like Tevin Coleman. I would not mind. I would prefer to have a guy that I could use more and give the ball to more and be more of a lead back than Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman, you kind of work him in that rotation, which Deuce does like to do. Yeah. But I would rather have more of a lead back, a guy that could maybe put his nose down on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and get that.
LT asks, are we focused on the wrong thing? Should we be thinking about acquiring a safety?
Well, I mean, there's 3 big places you could really go. You could go running back, wide receiver, safety. The reason I like McCoy is because that's still an option. You can get McCoy for $4 million, and you still have the option to get a safety. I just don't know what safeties are out there that are worth paying and getting. I don't know, but I do know there's good running backs.
I would trade for a safety. I would just sign one. Like Mike Mitchell, like the guys that I explained talked about last week, like they're still available in free agency.
Yeah, you could get them cheap. But I mean, when Earl Thomas went down, I don't know what safety that could come in and make such a huge impact on that defense. There are running backs that could change the way this whole offense runs. That's why I'm more focused on the running back, because I don't know what safety besides Earl Thomas. He's gone now.
They should have gone after Tyrann Mathieu when they had the chance.
Yeah.
Let's see. What happened to the safety we acquired from Chicago? So he's playing a lot of special teams, DeAndre Hall. And he's a guy that's like, he's long, but he's not really fast. He's a good tackler. He's okay. He is what he is.
Yeah.
Mitch the God Trubisky, Jordan Howard. I don't think they would go after Jordan Howard.
Sure, I'll take Jordan Howard. Yeah. They're not going to trade him.
Yeah.
They got a really nice thing on offense right now in Chicago with Howard and Cohen. Then you got Allen Robinson, Trey Burton's playing. I mean, their offense is good. I don't see why they would do anything.
Somebody said we blitzed less, so there was more. No, they actually blitzed more. No, they definitely blitzed a lot more because they were sending a lot of 6-man, 7-man rushes. Trust me, I was watching the game. Trust me. Do you have a real assessment on our Super Bowl repeat chances without home field advantage? It's gonna depend on who they play and how they play coming into the postseason. Um, like if they have to go to Green Bay or New Orleans, I don't like. Honestly, I'd rather play the Rams in Green Bay or New Orleans. As crazy as that.
Agree. I don't want to play New Orleans in the playoffs. I don't want to play Green Bay in the playoffs. I think they could go beat the Rams if they're playing good in LA. I think that could happen.
If let's say like the 2 seed is Carolina and you're a 3 seed, they're beating Carolina.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, watching New Orleans yesterday and the amount of points that they put up, especially in the passing game in New Orleans, I don't want to play them in the playoffs. I think that would be a hard win, and I think the Green Bay and the Cole would be hard. But I think hopefully they're healthy and they're playing a lot better by that point, and we're very dangerous going into the playoffs.
Yep, they would be, I'm sure. What about going after the Texans safety? What's his name? Are you talking about Tyrann Mathieu?
Is he available?
I mean,
the thing is a lot of these names, but if they're not available.
I'm seeing a lot of names. It's like people are just throwing names around, but it's like you have to think about from the other team's perspective too. Like they're not just going to give you players,
Yeah, right.
F Deems wants to bring back Shady. Bell seems unrealistic at this point.
Yeah, I think Shady makes a lot of sense because then you still have options. He's only $4 million against the cap. You have $11 million if you want to go out and get a Devontae Parker, or you want to get a safety or another player on defense. You still have the option to do it. That's what I really like about bringing Shady in.
Yeah. Badland Bully Johnson and Peterson from Arizona for 2 second-round picks and 2 fourths. I don't know if I'd want to give up all that. What's Patrick Peterson's contract like?
I don't know. I'd be honest. I'm not. I would rather go get Reddick.
If Hassan Reddick is available, Jesus, yeah. Okay, what's Peterson's 28 now? If he's got some sort of big contract,
he's got to have a big contract, I would assume.
He's kind of dipped a little bit recently. 5 years, $70 million. When was that signed? He'd be okay. So if you bring in David Johnson and Patrick Peterson, that's a lot of money for next year. So he would be $11.8 million against the cap next year, and then $13 million in 2020. And then that's with David Johnson too, who's like $10 million each season. I don't think they could afford that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a lot.
If you'd either go after Peterson or David Johnson, it's one or the other. You can't get both.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to say, Philly?
No, I mean, I think a running back is coming. I just don't know who it is, and I think the more I think about this, because I've listened to a lot of people's comments over the last, of course, the last night and stuff, and I've been thinking about this hard. Le'Veon Bell, of course, is the best running back, but because it's going to take him so long, I don't know that I would do it. I think I would go out and get McCoy, and then I would go out and try to get Devontae Parker. And I think that would be like $6.5 million under the cap, and I still would sign a safety like we talked about. And I think I would be ready to roll. I think at that point I would be ready to roll. And I think that's probably what I would do. Now, if they really are going to make a hard run at Le'Veon Bell and that's real, then I don't mind trading for him now. But maybe they could talk him into coming early. I don't know. But I think you got to get a running back. I think you got to get a running back.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard today that they said that the Eagles never even told Ajayi they were interested in a contract extension or even talked to him about a contract extension, meaning he was gone anyways.
Yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Omar Villanueva says, bring Shady back. Like, shut up. He's almost done. Well, clearly Omar doesn't watch a lot of Buffalo Bills games. Clearly.
You don't need Shady for 3 or 4 years. You would want him this year.
Yes.
Then you go and you draft. You got 2 second-round picks. I would draft a second-round running back, and then you have your running back in the future. But Shady's good enough. Shady's better than Jay Ajayi is when he was healthy. I'm sorry. So you can't tell me that Shady coming in would not help this offense. It would help it greatly.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, it would fix a wrong that stupid Chip Dip Kelly did a few years ago, trading him for Kiko Alonso, one of the most stupid, dumb trades in the history of mankind.
EDP is in the building.
What up, EDP?
He's not happy. Fuck this season. This shit is done. I love you. Oh, I love EDP.
Yeah.
Someone said something really nice about us. Hold on.
Oh, somebody said something nice.
I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher this name. I don't know if it's Jean or Jean Saint Fort. Hey, Adrian, I like your take about running the ball more. We need more people like you in Philly 500. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
There's some really nice people out there.
There are. Oh yeah.
And then there's people who just troll me.
No, most people are really nice. There's always some that are just like, it doesn't matter what you do or what you say, or what don't matter. So who cares about them?
Now, the problem is like some people like to troll me and they don't realize that my IQ is like off the charts and I just make them look stupid as fuck. Like, do not like the one guy you don't want to mess with is me, to be honest.
Don't mess with him. He will double moonwalk your ass.
I will. Somebody was like, somebody made a comment yesterday that I sounded like I got hemorrhoids, but they didn't spell hemorrhoids right. Like, I'm very intelligent. I know how to spell. I know how to speak. I speak very well. You can't fuck with me like that. I'm gonna make you look stupid.
But I want to know is how do they know what somebody with hemorrhoids sounds like?
That's very true. Very true. It's a good point. They probably have hemorrhoids.
They probably are sitting on the toilet typing it.
Mm-hmm. EDP, what's up? He goes, yo, before you go, what do you need to ask me, EDP? Why don't they do the halfback draw? You know how Dallas killed us in 2009? Make it look like you're going to pass, but hand it off. Run the draw, baby. Bring it back.
They need to run something because they're not running enough. I agree. Run everything. There's a lot of different things they could do that they just haven't even tried.
LT, you're the man. He just donated $9.99. That's awesome.
LT, thank you for the donation, buddy.
Good work, fellas. Keep doing what you do. I appreciate good content and entertainment. What's up, 500? Fly, Eagles, fly.
What's up, buddy? Thank you.
F Deems had an interview Monday and you got the job. What did you get? What did you get, man?
Shout out to F Deems. Congratulations, buddy.
I'm calling you Foolish Demon too. I don't like saying
I know. I always want to say
I don't like
F Demon.
F Deems gotta go, bro. The halfback draw is just like the play action pass, except opposite, says EDP.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I could tell you one thing. When they do that, when they line Carson under center, they are not running the ball. It's like 90% of the time, and everybody knows it. And they just blitz, just bring the linebacker, and he's done. I sent you that statistic today talking about how Carson's getting rid of the ball pretty quick.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's ridiculous.
That was a great stat because, like, a lot of the people that are complaining about Carson are saying that he's holding up the ball too long, but that stat basically says that's untrue. Yeah. EDP, Doug Peterson is stupid as fuck with 3 exclamation points. EDP, right now he is. Dude, some people were not able to take my criticism of Doug Peterson yesterday. You are not allowed to criticize Doug. He just won a Super Bowl. I am allowed to say whatever I want. It's my channel.
You're allowed to say whatever you want, and everybody's allowed to have their own opinion, for sure. I think Doug is being stubborn. I think he needs to adjust, and I don't know why it's taken him so long. I think once he does, we'll be fine, but he needs to do it.
Yeah, Jim Schwartz adjusted last week with blitzes and better coverage schemes, and this week it needs to be Doug Peterson. All right, so Foolish Demon is dishwasher at the at a high-end restaurant, 30 stories up, $13 per.
Good job, buddy. Congrats.
Hell yeah. So you've got to watch the show though when you're cleaning them dishes, bro. Gotta have earphones in.
Yeah, exactly.
EDP says he will adjust when we are fucking 211 and shit.
Oh God! If that's the case, I'm gonna start looking at the top 10 draft picks coming up.
Oh man, if this team goes 2-11, I'm gonna start thinking my original opinion on Doug Peterson was right.
If they go 2-11, I gotta tell you, I don't ever remember a Super Bowl champion being that bad the next year. I mean, I've seen them have slow starts before, like New England stuff, but usually they get rolling at some point. Yeah. Jamal Charles signed with the Jags. It just came out. I just got it.
Shit, I didn't even realize he was a free. That's right.
But he doesn't have anything.
I know, but I forgot he was a free agent.
Yeah, I guess because I saw Jamal Charles signs, then it disappeared. I'm like, oh God, Jamal Charles didn't sign with the Eagles, did he? Because I wouldn't have liked that signing. I got to tell you, that wouldn't have helped us.
Yeah.
But you never know with the Kansas City connection with Doug, so.
BNO M. Grim says the only thing about Carson is he's thrown to contested receivers versus wide open, like 3rd and 20, and there was a check down for about 10 yards, putting us in field goal range. I mean,
but what is that? Which one?
I don't know.
There was one where it was incontested. It was a lot of guys around, and it was right through Alshon's hand. And it was like 3rd and 20, 3rd and 21. That was the first down. Alshon he got hit as he was catching it. Oh, he got to hold on to that ball.
That's true. That's a good point. Good point. Dude, I have no issues with Carson Wentz right now.
None.
Carson Wentz is the least worry I have on the team right now. Like, if you overlook how many times he's getting pressured, if you overlook that and you're able to, actually see what's going on and you watch the ball placement and you watch the decision making, he's better than last year.
Better. I agree.
Better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, even EDP agrees. Wentz is doing all he can.
Look, dude, we would have if Wentz wasn't playing, we would not even be in some of these games.
Yeah. Ron G's 302. So nobody's talked about the fact that our offensive line is trash. Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like I saw a tweet yesterday from a Cowboys account. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up because this tweet made me laugh. My computer is slow as fuck.
Well, the thing with the offensive line too is that offensive line needs to get into a rhythm. They need to be able to wear down the defensive line over the course of a game. And when they just throw, especially this offensive line, they seem to get going into rhythm, running the ball first down. Then their pass protection gets better too. Everything gets better. And by throwing, I don't think these guys are ever getting into a rhythm. And it's killing. Yeah, I think so.
And the other thing, because I was saying, I want to see a 50-50 ratio for Thursday, and people were saying, teams don't run 50-50 anymore. I get that. I trust me. I know what the stats are. Trust me. But for this team, for the way they're looking right now, I think for Thursday, you just run it. Just run it. Just to run it. I don't care. Just run it. All right, so here's the tweet that I got about Carson Wentz. So from @bloggingtheboys, and they have a check mark for some reason. Carson Wentz was playing at an MVP level before he got hurt last season. Carson Wentz has not been very good since coming back this season. So anything to make themselves feel better about Dak Prescott.
Oh, Dak Prescott, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Carson Wentz, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception in 2 less games.
Ooh,
Right?
bird.
That's it. That's it.
Bird.
I think Carson also has thrown for almost as many yards. So, I mean, it's pretty pathetic. You know, Dak stinks.
He stinks.
Stinks.
All right. Let's see if I can answer. Let's get one more. Oh, what happened? Let's get one more question in here.
Any hearts in the chat?
I have not seen any hearts in the chats. EDP, I know you hate Colin Cowherd, but holy shit, he brought up a great point. Lane Johnson was talking all this shit about he'd rather win 1 title and have fun than win 5 and be miserable. I see what he's saying. I'm looking for like a good question. Sorry, I can't. Somebody says like we're a pass first team.
Well, I mean, personally, I don't think that ratios are going to be 50-50, but it could be a lot closer. You know,
I mean, like like a 50-50 ratio now is like I don't know, say 52-48.
Yeah, I mean, I could see like, you know, I mean, to me, it's not also it's like the timing and there's certain points and the feel of the game. Like you gotta be able to feel when you need to run, when it's working, stick with it, you know, those kind of things. And it just we just don't seem to have anybody feeling it until it's too late.
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll just do final thoughts now. Okay. All right. Because yeah, I gotta get at it because I gotta help my uncle. I gotta help him out like 2:30.
So my final thoughts are that
Yeah,
I expect something to happen. I expect that in the next few weeks leading up to the trade deadline, maybe sooner, that the Eagles are planning something. I think that's why they manipulated the salary cap with Fletcher Cox, freed up a lot of money, and I think something's coming down the pike. So I think we just kind of have to hang in there, get through Thursday's game because there's not going to be a trade before then, and then see what happens next week when we have almost like a mini bye. So. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm with you. Can't wait to see. I mean, as I head over to my uncle's to go help him out with whatever he needs, I'll have my phone with me, checking my Twitter and see what's happening. So there's going to be rumors all day. There's going to be rumors tomorrow, whenever. I expect the trade to happen. I just don't know when. But he's got to make a move. So there it is.
Yeah.
All right, that's Philly 500. I am Adrian Fedke. We're out of here. Take care.
Peace.